1MDB has sparked embezzlement and money laundering investigations across
one of the
at least
biggest
10
corruption
countries.
scandals the world has ever seen.
What may be the biggest financial scam in history.
A number of corrupt 1MDB officials treated this public trust as a personal bank account.
Follow us as we bring you into the courtroom where the biggest financial scandal in Malaysian history is being heard. By the Malaysian Insight, this is the Najib Razak 1MDB trial, and I'm Patrick Teo. A former 1MDB chief financial officer took instructions from Low Taek Jho because the businessman was introduced by then Prime Minister Najib Razak's aide. The Kuala Lumpur High Court heard today. Azmi Tahir said Jho Low was not a random stranger and he had no reason to suspect that the businessman's instructions were in fact not from Najib, who has also briefed him at the Prime Minister's private residence. Given that Azmi's superior also did not seek clarification on the matter, Azmi carried on with his duties as instructed. After a 2-week break, Najib Razak's 1MDB trial resumed today on January 26, 2022. Azmi was back on the witness stand. If you recall, the trial was vacated 2 weeks ago when Azmi fell ill and the prosecution was unable to present any other witnesses for the court. Today, defense lawyer Hariharan Tara Singh zoomed in on why Azmi decided to follow fugitive businessman Jho's instructions when it comes to 1MDB. Azmi explained to the court that the circumstances of his first meeting with Jho led him to believe that the instructions came from Najib through Jho. The events leading to how I met him and what I believed, what everyone else thought, he was legitimately representing Najib. I didn't meet him on the road somewhere. He was introduced by Azlin, Azmi said. In his witness statement, Azmi said he first met Jho in June 2012 when he was introduced to him by Najib's late principal private secretary, Azlin Alias. Azlin had asked Azmi to come and meet Jho and himself at the latter's office in KLCC. There he was told by Jho that instructions that came from him and Azlin were mandates from Najib. If that was the case, Hariharan then asked Azmi, why then did he have meetings with Jho at his private residence in Jalan Kiaping and not at the 1MDB offices? I put it to you, all these meetings are secret meetings purely with Jho Low. If it was with Najib's blessing, it would have happened in the office, the lawyer said. Azmi said it did not matter where they met. In fact, he had even met Najib in his home in Langkat Duta. That was where we were called, so we went. Jho was not always around, as he was rarely in town. When he called to meet, I went. It was as simple as that. I also met Najib in his house. Does it matter where we meet? Azmi retorted. This then led the lawyer to ask if Azmi had met with Najib, why did he not clarify whether Jho's instructions originated from Najib? All that it takes is just to verify, Hariharan said. Azmi said that he was there to meet Najib with regards to the KPMG audit report, and it was not appropriate to bring up the matter, especially when his superiors, who were also in attendance, did not broach the subject. It was not appropriate for me to talk to the PM like that. The meeting is for KPMG. I don't know how it will look as a professional to ask. I would also look stupid. It's very convenient to say that you can walk up to the meeting and ask. Now, in hindsight, maybe I should have, Azmi said. Hariharan wrapped up that line of questioning and moved on to asking Azmi about Brazen Sky. Brazen Sky is a special-purpose vehicle incorporated in the British Virgin Islands and was managed by Jasmine Liu and Terence Gay. Jasmine was 1MDB's general counsel, while Terence was its CFO. Azmi was nominated by former 1MDB CEO Sharul Halmi as its director. According to the Bunny Trail, 1MDB Global Investment Limited had paid ABBA $457 million for the option buyback on September 30, 2014. This money came from a $975 million loan from Deutsche Bank. From ABBA, $375 million moved to Lambaza Global Opportunity Fund, then subsequently to Bridge Global. Bridge Global then, through two transactions of $146 million and $248 million, transferred a total of $375 million to Brazen Sky on October 7th. The same day, Brazen Sky moves the money to 1MDB Global Investment, which then transfers it back to ABBA on October 8th. Why did you move the money back to ABBA? Hariharan asked. We could have paid directly to ABBA, but Terence told me that people didn't believe there was money in Brazen Sky, Azmi said. So they wanted to show that there was movement of money. People were criticizing that there was no money in Brazen. That is what I was informed. The lawyer then asked if he had authorization from the board of directors of shareholders to execute the transactions, to which Azmi said there was no need. Since the money moved intercompany, there is no need for approval. With ABBA, there was an agreement for the payment to be made, so there is no need for approval either, he replied. Hariharan then accused Azmi of executing the transaction on the instruction of Jho Low to benefit businessmen. Azmi said he disagreed. Court then adjourned for the day. The trial will resume tomorrow morning. Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by the Malaysian Insight. It was written by Revati Supramaniam, and I'm Patrick Teo.